Good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the processional for the class of 2019, the faculty, staff, administration, and the board of directors of Benjamin Franklin High School. Please remain standing as Quincy Weary leads us in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. And EC's Heidel leads us in singing the Star-Spangled Banner.
Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the and the home of the brave,
Please be seated. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Patrick Widholm, head of Benjamin Franklin High School, and it is my honor to welcome you to this, the 60th graduation of Benjamin Franklin High School. Please take a moment to silence phones and electronic devices. And let me remind you that while we are awarding diplomas to the individual students, share your enthusiasm and joy, but please do not disrupt the celebration of the next child and their parents and their family for celebrating them. It's my privilege to introduce today's platform guests. First of all, we are honored to have Chief Justice of the Louisiana Supreme Court, Burnett Joshua Johnson, as our keynote speaker and proud cousin of Aaliyah Jones. Thank you so much. From the Franklin Governing Board, we welcome Mr. Carlos Zervagon, the board president, whose son Ben is graduating today. Carlos, thank you. Also, Aaliyah Cott, whose daughter Bella is graduating today. Thank you, Ms. Cott. Also serving on the board is Mr. Min Yang, a 1981 graduate, and Ms. Charmaine Cooper Hussein. Thank you both. From Franklin's Alumni Association, we have the president of the Alumni Board, Mr. Wayne Collier, a 1963 graduate. Wayne. And also a member of the Alumni Association Governing Board and the Clerk of Orleans Parish Civil District Court, Ms. Chelsea Richard Napoleon, who's from the class of 1990. We are especially honored that the Superintendent of Orleans Parish School Board would make time to join us for this celebration today. Thank you, Dr. Henderson Lewis. And of course, students, you'll hear from Mr. Quincy Weary, Miss Linda Denson, Miss Caitlin Nguyen. And we welcome to the stage our salutatorian for the class of 2019, Miss Sophia DeMarco. On a day-to-day basis, it's an honor to serve with, and now for me to recognize members of the school's administrative leadership. Mr. David Ferris, the academic assistant principal. David, thank you. Mr. Don Jackson, the operations assistant principal. Thank you. And his son Nathan is joining you as a graduate from today. Miss Christy Reed and Miss Lynn Jenkins both serve the school in vital ways, but they are your class sponsors. Thank you, Miss Christy. Thank you, Miss Lynn. Of course, Mr. Paraka, the Student Activities and Alumni Relations Coordinator. Thank you, Mr. Paraka, for what you do. Mary Simon is the head of the Counseling and Wellness Department. Mary, thank you for being with us on stage today. And Mr. Habib Mbai is on stage today so that he may present his daughter with her diploma. Mr. Mbai. Seated with the faculty, we recognize Dr. Cliff Robinson, whose daughter Brenna is graduating today. And let's thank Mr. Lacoste and the wonderful Benjamin Franklin High School Orchestra. You guys are terrific down there. Seniors, class of 2019, we're here to celebrate with you this afternoon. And we're joined by many who are so excited for this event. Please allow me to recognize three groups. First of all, seniors, this theater is filled literally. There's not a seat left in this theater. It's filled with family and friends to cheer you on. But at this time, would parents, guardians, grandparents, brothers, sisters, aunts, and uncles of the class of 2019 stand so that we can show you our appreciation? Yeah, why not? The faculty of Benjamin Franklin High School is second to none anywhere. Faculty and staff, thank you for the instruction, the nurture, the challenge, and the encouragement that you have provided to this class. Thank you for your dedication to the best students in our city. Will the faculty and staff please stand so that we may show you our appreciation? As you leave this ceremony, you will be adding to the number of Franklin alumni from the past 60 years. You will join them in places of service, of leadership, and success throughout our city, our state, our nation, and even the globe. Would all Benjamin Franklin alumni with us today please stand so that we may thank you for the legacy you've given us. And now, Mr. Jackson will present the top 10 scholarship awards, academic awards. As your name is called, please come to the stage, and you will remain on stage until all 10 students have been recognized. Mr. Jackson.
It is my pleasure that these students have earned the highest cumulative grade point average during their high school career. We applaud you for your determined endeavors and your academic achievement. Please remain on stage until all 10 names are called.
Number 10, Nali Babette Patel.
Then I don't think the microphone is on.
Come.
Number 10, Hanali.
Lynn is going to join me at the podium so we can hear these names.
Okay. Number 10, Hanali Bhavesh Patel. Number 9, Yen Huang Wen. Number 8, Graham Michael Grebe. Number 7, Kiana Elizabeth Zahiri. Number 6, Camille Irene Mintz. Number 5, Catherine Lynn Marsh. Number 4, Caitlin Nee Wen. Number 3, Hazel Ann Smith. Number 2, Sophia Olivia DeMarco. And number 1, Caitlin Braganza Wen.
Good evening. My name is Quincy Weary, and for the past 4 years, I've had the honor to serve as the president of the class of 2019. I would like to begin by thanking those who have not only led me in my success, but our success, and those are our loved ones. No matter if it was a parent, a sibling, a teacher, there was someone there to support us in every moment of our journey. They have been there to push us to our limits and there to catch us when we may not reach our goal. These supporters have served as the co-authors of our stories until today. Although we will be faced with making tough decisions, our supporters will always be there to ensure, even when we make poor judgments, that we end up with the best outcome. I myself like to think of life as a book, and here at Ben Franklin, we have only written the introduction to our stories. Of course, the first few chapters are comprised of our earlier development, but most of our story remains unwritten. Everything that happens from now on will be because of choices that we, as independent free thinkers, will make. Today is the day where we take our pen and begin to write our own destiny. However, before we move on, we must remember the last few chapters of our high school journey and even a few leading up to them. If we were to go back a couple of pages, we would recall prom, homecoming, and even winning Spirit Week 2 years in a row. All great memories, but the question I want to know lies deeper within. So we skip a lot of pages to the beginning of this chapter, and we will recall ourselves lost, looking for places to eat lunch, our new friends to talk to. But if we go back one more chapter, we were to see who you were before your story began here at Franklin. And my question to everyone is, who were you? What were those out-of-the-box, extraordinary dreams and aspirations you had in life? No matter the dream, no matter how difficult it may be to achieve, Franklin has just put you one step closer to achieving it. After months of intensive research of the Transcendentalist with Millie, thank you, Dr. Hightower, I finally found the best quote to explain exactly what I'm trying to express. Henry David Thoreau once said, "If you have built castles in the sky, that is where your work need be. They should not be lost. Now put the foundations under them." The castles in the air are our dreams, but before we can reach them, there must be a solid foundation. A foundation which is manufactured not only by the choices we make, but is also made of the obstacles that we face and the lessons we learn through taking risks. No one in this room is perfect, but there are many of us who are gifted with many talents, whether it be singing, which Shelby and ECs have proven to be beautiful at, or dancing, even with a broken leg, yeah, Brianna, that's you, or just being some of the greatest people this world will ever see, like Lily, Kirsten, or even you too, Jeff. All of these things are challenging, but somehow we still manage due to all of the hard work and hours of practice we put towards our gifts. When trying to find just the right key or perfect that grand jete, every attempt, every error, every failure only strengthens the foundation, which is completed when you finally perfect it. Our foundations are not only what we learn, but they are what we learn through failure. In society today, it is easy to abandon our castles due to a fear of failure, but we must learn to embrace our mistakes. We must keep building, as this educational experience from Franklin was only a piece of the overall foundation, and the only way to construct a solid foundation is through experience of failure. Let me tell you a story about someone who once built a castle in the sky. Madam C.J. Walker was an African-American woman born right here in Delta, Louisiana in 1867. She was suddenly faced with a dilemma at the age of 30. All of her hair was falling out, and none of the products she used seemed to work. One night, she had a dream in which a man appeared to her and listed the ingredients to mix and create her own hair growth treatment. She asked no questions and did just that. She then began to sell her mixture, and by 1910, only 5 years into the business, Walker's company was making $7,000 per week. Today, Madam C.J. Walker's company is a world-renowned business for her hair products, but what many do not know is her story. She is not remembered as the woman who overcame many obstacles of the time and moved to start a company with only $1.50 in her account. Instead, Madam Walker's story chose to highlight only the success and the road she took, just as most success stories do. Yet, her story did only begin with a dream, with hope, with ambition, with passion. All of these things contributed to her success, but the real difference between Walker and the rest who wanted to build castles was that she was willing to take that risk and possibly even fall from the great heights where she set her dreams. Now think of your story. When you receive your diploma today, you will be closing out another chapter of your journey, and for the first time have full autonomy on how your narrative develops. So when you are writing your story, it is key to remember that risks are how you keep the reader intrigued. No one enjoys a book where the plot is predictable. You must not let doubt keep you from achieving greatness. People doubted Madam CJ, and people will continue to doubt those who take risks because it is a part of human nature. I'm sure people have doubted Mrs. Johnson, the first African-American woman to serve as the Chief Justice of the Louisiana Supreme Court. Even great inventors and mathematicians like Albert Einstein and Isaac Newton were doubted. Our job is to take that doubt and turn it into faith. One of the world's most respected storytellers, Mark Twain, stated, "Courage is resistance to fear, mastery of fear, not the absence of fear." It is okay to fear failure, but we should not try to escape it. Too often do we deny ourselves opportunities when we try to run away from failure. No longer can we sit and wait for opportunities to come. Instead, we must get up and make them. We must take control of our story. Today, we begin the next chapter. How the narrative develops is up to us. Now is the time for us to build our castles in the sky, using the knowledge that we have gained and will gain, adding it to the foundation. So keep dreaming and keep building castles in the sky, as it is limitless and the pages are empty, waiting to be filled with our journeys, our dreams, our stories. So class of 2019, let's take our pen and begin to draft. Thank you. It is my pleasure to introduce our student speaker and Franklin's first Ron Brown Scholar, Mrs. Linda Denson.
I will. I want to start by congratulating you all. Growing with you has been some of the most formative, enlightening, and of course, stressful experiences of my life. As Franklin students, we all share the experience of being the smart kid. When asked a question, we're expected to always know the answer. And admittedly, we usually do. But today, I'm not going to ask you to integrate e to the x cosine x dx. You can relax. Nor will I ask you what the holding was in McCulloch v. Maryland. Nor am I going to ask you to explain how the author uses rhetorical devices to convey her message in a well-developed essay. Sorry, Mr. Swanson. No, none of that anymore. Instead, I want to ask you this. Is it better to know or not to know? This philosophical question has been posed and answered many times, and depending on who you ask, either could be right. Today, it seems that many people feel disillusioned with the idea of knowing. They think that ignorance is bliss. They think that in seeking out knowledge, you'll only find disappointment with the realities of our world and feel powerless to change the trajectory of it. It feels sometimes that the truth about our world and how it's changing isn't worth knowing, especially when it's so accessible and easy to ignore the truth or to substitute it with a more digestible facade. So what is it about knowing the truth that makes it worth the disillusionment, the disappointment, that helpless feeling? Why do we expend energy pursuing knowledge and the truth if we can survive perfectly fine, possibly even happier, having not known that which we sought to know? Why should I care that the derivative of e to the x is e to the x? Why should I care that all stories follow the hero's journey? We can live without those things, so why? And it's easy to understand why some might think this, especially those times when we feel the most disappointed in the truth. Those are the times when it's most difficult to provide an answer to why, and so what. It is often so much easier to just stand complicit in those things that disappoint us than to find the answer to those questions. But I implore you to look back on the last 4 years and forward to the next 4. What did you come here seeking? And what will you seek at your future institution? The most ubiquitous answer is knowledge. And it isn't the knowledge of calculus or physics or world history that we think of when we think about the last 4 years. It's self-knowledge. It's knowing how to communicate, knowing how to pick ourselves up in the toughest times, knowing how to empower ourselves, knowing that the way to respond to a disappointing truth isn't to become disillusioned and cynical, but to do something about it. That is the knowledge which Franklin has instilled in us, and I can't imagine living a fulfilling life after this not having learned those things. It's true that we could probably all survive without ever seeking the truth or knowing, but to live is not just to survive. So if the truth is disheartening and unjust, fix it. But as the leaders of this world, which faces so many tough questions, we cannot allow ourselves to surrender to the easiest answer. We cannot become like those who would rather bend the truth and stunt their own growth to feel comfortable. Sure, it's hard. Studying was hard. The workload was hard. Franklin was hard. But I doubt that any one of us would trade any of it for a less formative, easier experience now that we're here on the other side. Franklin has 4 values: honor, wisdom, service, justice. And I believe that in these values lies the answer to our question. If we have the honor to know, we will have the wisdom to do something. Knowing encourages us to serve our world, and through our service, we will deliver justice. We all are the keys to a more just world, a world where every life matters, where every person has true freedom, freedom from labels, freedom from poverty, freedom from prejudice. A true meritocratic world where we are defined only by our character, our talent, and our work ethic. A world where no mother fears that the world will turn its back on her child, or that the world her child lives in is unlivable. That is a just world, it's justice, and we can only achieve it through continuing to seek knowledge. So it is better to know, always. And I know we carry this philosophy, these values with us: honor, justice. Final congratulations to the... I am now honored to ask our valedictorian, Ms. Caitlin Nguyen, to come forward.
Then you walk the halls, the tiles beneath your soles, the lockers across your shoulders, the posters above your head. You began freshman year, inspired by your peers who exuded an upperclassman confidence, and by faculty who welcomed you. Then you walked the halls again, the tiles, lockers, and posters, a sight you knew well. You saw in the underclassmen a youthful glow, a lingering nervousness, and ambitious spirit. You saw in the faculty memories, reminiscent and bittersweet. Now, as tassels adorn your caps and as folds embrace your gowns, you await the walk that signifies the fulfillment of a 4-year journey. This time, however, across the stage, a symbol of academic achievement, devoted dedication, and passionate ambition. Imagine these images. A cherry blossom blooms, its delicate petals a pale pink. A butterfly flutters, its intricate wings a persimmon orange. And a pearl shines, its luminous layers a shivering ivory. What is it that all 3 have in common? Simply the idea of change over time, brought about by an individual journey. From the words of author Ursula Le Guin, it is good to have an end to journey toward, but it is the journey that matters in the end. Just as the cherry blossom began as a seed and the butterfly as a caterpillar, we too have all started somewhere, constantly undergoing change. The experiences and lessons we garner continue to mold us into the individuals we are today and will become tomorrow. We all have encountered the loss of a loved one, established a lifelong relationship, accomplished our short-term goals, or simply failed trying to do so. But what Benjamin Franklin High School taught me was that not one singular moment, one single event, defines who you are, but shapes you into the person you become. Just as there is beauty in your successes, there is too in your weaknesses. You are not defined by the mistakes you make, but by how you choose to address them and carry on. Your mistakes are your greatest gifts. As a freshman, I was compelled with a desire to succeed, believing that a successful individual devoted oneself to hard work and academic rigor. However, I soon found that such logic was incomplete. Found within a few years that just as my values were changing, so too were my views on such a concept. It wasn't until senior year, however, when I was allowed the answer I was looking for. That success means adapting to change, maximizing opportunity, and most important, defining who and what makes you happy. As Maya Angelou once stated, we delight in the beauty of the butterfly, but rarely admit the changes it has gone through to achieve that beauty. Imagine that image of the butterfly once more. Where had the butterfly started? What had it become? What had it gone through to acquire its beautifully intricate wings? Through faculty and peers, shared experiences have allowed me such principles. That while prioritizing your values is important, maintaining balance is imperative. That while pursuing your goals takes ambition, understanding your emotional well-being takes courage. And lastly, that surrounding yourselves with those you love and cherish is one of the most rewarding actions. Having attended Benjamin Franklin for the past 4 years, it's been an honor and privilege to stand alongside such diligent, attentive, and kind-hearted individuals. From participating in service projects to raising awareness for greater causes, we as a class of 2019 have fulfilled numerous accomplishments. And as an institution that fosters diversity, encourages individuality, and embraces the core values of honor, justice, wisdom, and service, Benjamin Franklin has not only provided an enriching experience, but a memorable one as well. We, however, would not be where we are today without those who have guided and advised us along the way. To our counselors who provided guidance and our teachers who mentored us, we express utmost gratitude and appreciation. And those who have been there since the very beginning, our number one supporters, our number one critics, our families, moms, dads, grandmas, grandpas. Whether near or far, you witnessed our first words, our first crawl, and our first steps. Yes, we may no longer hold your hands or sit on your laps, but it is those same memories we will be forever grateful for. To my mom and dad, you have inspired me from the very beginning. I see within you memories of Banoy and Lolatitas, knowing that they are proud of the parents you are and the individuals you have become, for allowing me endless opportunities and for always believing in me. I thank you, as I would not be where I am today without you both. As we look upon the next few years with fresh ambition and newfound independence, we again wait to walk a different set of halls, overcome new rounds of obstacles, and pursue our greater goals. Whether you are staying close to home or going far away, I wish you all the best of luck. Appreciate every opportunity. Welcome change. And of course, do not lose sight of who you are. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Wayne Collier, class of 1963, and the president of Benjamin Franklin Alumni Association's Board of Directors. I'd like to welcome you again, the class of 2019, to our Alumni Association. You are now and always will be a member of the Falcon family. You are sitting here tonight because you have done what it takes to earn a Benjamin Franklin High School diploma. I know you and your families are very proud. In just a few moments, you will become part of the worldwide network of over 8,500 Franklin alumni. It is now my honor and privilege to call upon an outstanding graduate to present the Key Award. She is a member of the class of 1989, a member of the Ben Franklin High School Alumni Association Board of Directors for 13 years, the first and only development director for Ben Franklin, and most significantly today, the beloved sponsor for the class of 2019. Please welcome Christy Reed.
Thank you, Wayne. This award is given annually at graduation to the senior who best exemplifies the broad-based excellence exhibited by the life of Mr. Benjamin Franklin. The recipient is chosen by a vote of the Alumni Association Board of Directors from nominees put forward by the faculty and staff or fellow members of the senior class. This is never an easy decision. And this year was tougher than most, not because there were 10 nominations, but because you were all special to me. Attributes and accomplishments considered in choosing the recipient are scholastic achievement, civic responsibility, practical knowledge and application, leadership, school loyalty, artistic and athletic talent, and the mutual respect and regard for classmates. This award carries with it a $1,000 honorarium. The first thing that comes to mind about this year's recipient is kindness. This person is also described as a great listener, which helps to unify people and makes them feel their views are considered. To quote one of the college counselors, the graduate receiving this award embodies the virtues of a true leader: intelligence, fairness, courage, and integrity. They're described by another as the calm in the storm. More words to describe this year's winner are charismatic, respectful, and engaged with the student body. This person continuously sought to challenge themselves and never took the path of least resistance. He took multiple AP classes, was an athlete, a musician, a volunteer, all while holding a part-time job and always smiling. This year's recipient truly wants to leave our beloved alma mater better off than when he entered. He's worked tirelessly as your president of the class for the last 4 years to make that happen. I believe he's succeeded. I am proud to present the 2019 Key Award to Mr. Quincy Weary.
Hey, y'all. It is my honor and pleasure to introduce Chief Justice Burnett Joshua Johnson as this year's commencement speaker. Chief Justice Johnson is the first African American and second woman to serve as Chief Justice in the Louisiana Supreme Court. She grew up here in New Orleans and attended local public schools, which were still segregated at the time, and she graduated as valedictorian of her class. Chief Justice Johnson attended LSU's Paul M. Herbert's Law School. She was one of the first African American women to graduate from LSU's law program, earning a Juris Doctorate in 1969. While a law student, Chief Justice Johnson interned with the U.S. Department of Justice Civil Rights Division, working on cases filed to implement the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Prior to her election to the bench, she spent most of her legal career working in the public sector. She has been a legal services attorney and a deputy city attorney for New Orleans. Chief Justice Johnson worked as a law intern with the U.S. Justice Department, Civil Rights Division, and as a community organizer with the NAACP Legal Defense and Educational Fund in New York City. During the 1970s, she has helped organize household workers to receive Social Security benefits and a minimum wage, and in 1984, she was elected to the Orleans Civil District Court, the first woman to serve judge in that court. Chief Justice Johnson's portrait was unveiled in 1996, and she was inducted into the LSU Law Center Hall of Fame. In 2001, she received an honorary doctorate of laws from her alma mater, Spelman College, and in 2010, she was inducted into the National Bar Association Hall of Fame and the Louisiana Justice Hall of Fame. Chief Justice Johnson is the recipient of numerous awards, including the American Bar Association Spirit of Excellence Award, the Distinguished Civil Rights Award, the Louisiana State Bar Association Distinguished Jurist Award, and the American Bar Association's Margaret Brent Woman Lawyers of Achievement Award. She was the recipient of the first Ernest N. Morial Award given by the New Orleans Legal Assistance Corporation and the A.P. Turo Citizenship Award given by the Louisiana State Conference, NAACP. Former Mayor Mark H. Morial presented her with the Medal of Honor from the City of New Orleans. She is the proud parent of 2 children, David, an accountant who lives in Atlanta, and Rachel, a civil district court judge in New Orleans, who is the cousin of a graduate today, Miss Aaliyah Jones. We are honored that Chief Justice Johnson would join us tonight. Please join me in welcoming her to the podium.
Good afternoon. It certainly is a pleasure to be here this afternoon with the graduating class of 2019 here at Ben Franklin. Thank you so much to the principal and the graduating class and Aaliyah Jones and all of the folk who invited me to be here this evening. I'm really glad that you asked me to come and give you a few words at your commencement. First of all, you sit here in caps and gowns, and this is a tremendous achievement. It means that you've done all of your work, you've read books and wrote papers and completed projects, and I know you've been tested, but I hope you had a little fun along the way. What this accomplishment means is that you've completed a chapter in your lives, that you're now prepared to move forward and write your own next chapter. Let us not forget, however, that this achievement could not be possible without all of the folks here on this stage, your principal, I think you all call him Dr. Pat, your tremendous faculty, all of the dignitaries here representing the school board, Dr. Henderson Lewis and other board members. All of these folks here in this community have been pulling for you and encouraging you. And I know everyone who stood in the audience, your parents, your friends, we're all here to congratulate you because this is an important day and you deserve every minute of the accolades and all of the praise that's being heaped on you today. Let me say this, what you've achieved is not a coincidence. You are here because you set yourselves on a path to excellence. Now, each one of you, I'm sure, had an opportunity to go to another high school other than Ben Franklin, which I understand is the #1 high school in the state of Louisiana. But if you want to go to the #1 school, it's challenging. You have to push yourselves harder. And you've made it across the finish line. But as you move on, I'd like to point out that your decision to attend Ben Franklin steered you onto a unique course that many people never get an opportunity to take, and that your hard work is far from over. Because you decided to take on this challenge, you've been given the opportunity to explore and develop your individual interests. I've been told that you have 50 different clubs and organizations at Ben Franklin. You've been given the opportunity to participate in a lot of things that are not available to your peers here in this city. I also discovered that Ben Franklin was the first public school in New Orleans to desegregate following Brown against Board of Education. It's no surprise that your school is named after Benjamin Franklin, well known as one of this nation's founding fathers, but also an author, printer, political theorist, politician, postmaster, scientist, inventor, activist, statesman, diplomat. Did I forget anything? Benjamin Franklin was one of those individuals whose expertise spans a significant number of subject areas, and who was able to draw on complex bodies of knowledge to solve specific problems. Some of you probably already knew that. I just have to give a shout out now to Candace Dole, my law clerk who graduated from Ben Franklin in 2002, and my speechwriter. She wrote all of this. Franklin used his expansive knowledge to help solve some of the nation's biggest issues of the day, and some smaller ones. This is a small one. Did you know that Ben Franklin invented swim fins when he was 11 years old? I bet you didn't know that. Obviously, Ben Franklin accomplished many things, but perhaps his biggest contribution was helping to lay a foundation for our nation. He labored over the words of the Declaration of Independence, the Treaty of Paris, and the Constitution, all in an attempt to create a solid system of government that the people of our then newly formed nation would approve. He is quoted as saying, "There is no form of government but what may be a blessing to the people if well administered." Regardless of your political leanings or opinions, perhaps we can all appreciate an individual who, rather than use his intelligence and expertise exclusively for personal financial gain, shared it for the public good. Ben Franklin also said, "An investment in knowledge pays the best interest." Now here's where you come in. You made an investment in yourself when you decided to attend Ben Franklin High School. You may have even questioned this decision when some tests got to be a little bit challenging. But I encourage you to reflect on the last 4 years, from your first Spirit Week as a freshman to the last time you sat on the senior stairs with your friends. These 3 years shaped you into who you are and will undoubtedly play a part in who you will become. So I pose this question. What will you do with this opportunity you've been given? How will you share your interests and skills with the world? No matter what you do or what path you choose, I urge you to remember this moment, the feeling of pride and accomplishment you feel today, and continue to let it drive you into the next chapter. I also urge you to be fearless in your pursuits. Never doubt your intuition or fail to speak up when you have something important to say. The truth is, the opportunity you've been given by attending Ben Franklin comes with a responsibility. You have a duty to yourselves, your loved ones, and everyone you come across to always show up as the best version of yourself and to be a model citizen of your city, state, and nation. Now, at Franklin, you likely read a lot of Shakespeare and perhaps some Dickens, Chaucer, other folks I don't think have to read all of that. But if you haven't read the U.S. Constitution, I implore you to familiarize yourself with it. We always encourage young people to come by and visit 400 Royal Street, and I think some seniors were able to come by and visit with us. We so enjoyed having you. We always give out copies of the Constitution and talk with young people about those fundamental rights, the Fourth Amendment, the Sixth Amendment. In honor of your school's namesake, ask yourself if we as a nation have been successful in upholding its founding principles. Ask yourself if you're doing everything in your power to hold your leaders accountable and to make sure that we respect the ideals that the framers of our Constitution envisioned: liberty, justice, peace. We've clearly come a long way from the State of the Union as it existed when it was founded. A recognition of our inalienable rights demanded that we revisit our founding principles and amend them. It took decades to effect change. Women didn't get the vote until 1920s, and you all familiar with the civil rights struggles of the 1960s, the Civil Rights Act of '64, the Voting Rights Act of 1965. I ask all of you, if you're not 18 years old yet, as a birthday gift to yourself and your nation, go down and register to vote. Louisiana is one of a few states that, well, not a few, but some states appoint judges in the state system, but Louisiana, we elect judges in our state system. Whether you're running for traffic court or you're running for the Louisiana Supreme Court, you've got to get out there and ask people to vote for you and tell them what you've done and what you plan to, what you've accomplished and what you will accomplish. And so we need you as informed voters. I'm told that the last election in New Orleans in May of this year, the turnout was less than 10%. We need to do better in terms of participating in voting, and certainly when you get your first chance to serve on a jury, don't try to figure out how to get out of jury service. I did trial work for 10 years at Civil District Court, and we'd bring a panel in, a veneer of 200 folk, and they sat in the courtroom and they're listening to the responses, and they could figure out in 5 minutes what they needed to say to get out of jury duty. Don't do that. You need a jury of your peers. If your life is at issue in a criminal trial, or you have some property issues in a civil trial, you want someone like you on the jury. So I ask you to be mindful of that. We live in an information age. All of you have cell phones, I guess, turned off because I haven't heard any ring. Information is always at our fingertips. But are we actually more informed with all of that information? I would argue that just as much as we're connected by the availability of constant, real-time information, we're divided as well. Because everyone has an opinion, whether influenced by culture or religion or politics or neighborhoods or what. But all too often, these opinions are posited as facts, and these so-called facts are disseminated far and wide with a touch of a button or the click of a mouse. The public's opinion is therefore influenced by other opinions, which are viewed as facts, and a vicious cycle of misinformation goes viral. I grew up in a different generation, which means I still read newspapers and watch the evening news, and you folks don't tend to do that. I think you get your news from social media, but a daily dose of social media can be filled with rumors, and I'm always asking, well, how do you verify misinformation that's all lumped together on a platform like Facebook or Twitter or Instagram? So, it's up to you as educated young adults to diligently seek the truth about what's going on in the world around you. Research important issues and gather information from credible sources in order to make informed decisions for yourselves and your community. That's your responsibility as a member of this democratic republic. The hard reality we must face is that many of the same problems that existed when our nation was founded still exist. We still have economic disparities. We still have immigration problems. We have problems with national defense and violence and trying to find affordable education for every American. Perhaps the framers of our Constitution could not possibly foresee the current state of our nation, just as I am certain they could not imagine a world with 24-hour news or social media giants where anyone can broadcast their personal prejudices and misinformed beliefs. It's no wonder then that public displays of outrage fuel action in the name of United for a Cause. However, this action inevitably results in further division, serving to undermine and trivialize the root of the problem that exists in the first place. Our Constitution begins with the words, "We the people," a reflection that no one man is responsible for the formation of our founding principles. Rather, we all play a part in our own governance. Therefore, we all have a duty to zealously exercise our constitutional rights in order to form a more perfect union. Because without each individual, without each and every one of you sitting out there working together, everyone with different races and ethnicities and cultures and religion, our union doesn't exist. Change does not happen overnight. Change will come when it is the people's will. And this is the legacy of Ben Franklin and our founding fathers. While each new generation comes with its own new challenges, we must all be willing to do our part to narrow the gap between the promise of our founding principles and the realities of the present. Our Constitution affords us the right to choose to accept a political landscape that breeds division and conflict, or to tackle our issues head on and flex our democratic muscles. Our nation may never be perfect, but each one of us has a responsibility to ensure that we are working toward creating a more perfect union. At the very heart of our union, despite its shortcoming, is a self-evident truth that all men and women are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, and among them are life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of people to alter and institute a new government, laying a foundation on some other principles. But we've got a wonderful Constitution, we've got a wonderful nation, and I'm asking all of you to work toward that more perfect union. On behalf of all of the justices of the Louisiana Supreme Court, I urge you to uphold these constitutional principles our nation was founded on. I urge you to dream big, tap into your full potential, and make a difference. Be sure to represent your school well wherever you go. Ben Franklin once said, "Be at war with your vices, at peace with your neighbors, and let every new year find you a better man or woman." To this graduating class of 2019, congratulations. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chief Justice Johnson, for your inspirational message and your challenge to the graduates, as well as all of us present, to be the best citizens we can be. Good afternoon, graduates, honorees, parents, family members, friends, and faculty and staff. Dr. Widholm, I commend these graduates and that they so richly deserve. Graduates in the first row and the first section, please rise and approach the stage.
Caitlin Braganza Nguyen, summa cum laude. Sophia Olivia DeMarco, summa cum laude. Linda Nevea Denson, summa cum laude. Christopher Young An. Grace Elizabeth Allen, magna cum laude. Malik Kavan August. Egypt Aliyah Ballat, magna cum laude. Sarah Fortin Bancroft, magna cum laude. Nijay Danik Beal, magna cum laude. Ashley Amelia Bell. Joshua Eiler Bell. Nina Sylvia Barris, summa cum laude. Cole Cyrus Bernard. Jake Ryan Berry, summa cum laude. Celeste Marie Biak. Shelby Elizabeth Besant, magna cum laude. Sasha Brianna Bourne. Destiny Nichelle Brady. Ethan Scott Bravo Quinones. Rashawn Jamal Brignac, summa cum laude. Lauren Vonda Brooks, magna cum laude. Sydney Taylor Broussard, magna cum laude. Dewana Rashay Brown. Jamia Shalay Brown, magna cum laude. Kirsten Nakia Brown, magna cum laude. Trent Anthony Brown. Joe Phuoc Quang Cao, magna cum laude. Bruce Lamar Carter Jr., summa cum laude. Nicholas Xavier Cash. Jai Caleb Chatters. Carissa Dontavia Clark. Jordan Nolan Clark. Who's doing that? Larion Armani Clausel. Brianna Catherine Clavery, magna cum laude. Her diploma is being presented by the class sponsor, Christy Reed. Rian Janae Clayton. Keelan Garrett Collins, summa cum laude. Eva Percy Coleman, summa cum laude. Caleb Joseph Cook, magna cum laude. Isabella Michelle Cott, whose diploma is being presented by her mother, Aaliyah Cott, who is an AAEE and Friends of Franklin Foundation board member. Stephanie Nicole Crawford, summa cum laude. Cameron Therese Quiet. Selena Marie Rodriguez Daigle. Elizabeth Constance Daly, summa cum laude. Patrick William Daly, summa cum laude. Kalila Jasmine Daveron, summa cum laude. John Mabin de Freitas III, summa cum laude. Anna Catherine Dimitri, magna cum laude. Tariq Christian Jude Dominguez. Isabel Grace Duga. Destiny Haikiana Dupre. Eli Alexander Durham, summa cum laude. Emma Marie DeRocher, magna cum laude. Darian Ann Durancelet. Sarah Grace Ibrahim. Elijah Edgar Evans, summa cum laude. Anouk Eva Farrat, magna cum laude. Maximilian Quigley Fitzgerald. Alexandria Dion Flakes, summa cum laude. Demond Anthony Fortenberry. Darren Tyreek Francis, magna cum laude. His diploma is being presented by the class sponsor, Christy Reed. Lydia Taylor Franchek. Sophie Audubon Fuselier. Griffin Forbes Ganzar. Joshua William Gibson. Colin Wesley Paul Gervin. Ian Joseph Givens. Don Glendale Graham, Jr. Ashley Elizabeth Green. Jericho Brian Grimion. Graham Michael Grebe, summa cum laude. Laurinette Griffin. Joshua David Guillory. Swati Haldar, magna cum laude. Isis Michaela Heidel, magna cum laude. Demi Bianca Hayes. Jessica Marvell Hurd. Anna Thum Nhu Huang, magna cum laude. Tristan Faustino Hoff. Deasia Decor Hopkins. Michaela Kiana Howard, summa cum laude. Tajane Alexander Hubbard. Tuong V. T. Huing. Carl Nelson Indes, Jr. Zoe Amanda Eisenberg, magna cum laude. Nathan Donald Jackson. His diploma is being presented by his father, Donald Jackson, who is Assistant Principal of Operations. Emil Jacobs. Pranav Rao Jaligam, summa cum laude. Destiny Jaylyn Johnson, summa cum laude. Kennedy Alexis Johnson. Christian Anthony Johnson. Paige Madison Rodriguez Jones, magna cum laude. Andrew Fox Judge, summa cum laude. Emanuela N. Jules, summa cum laude. Sarina Sa Kaweakul, magna cum laude. Olivia Pearl Keefe, magna cum laude. Ho. London Isabella LaHost Larson. Kelsey Alexandria Lane, summa cum laude. Charlie Zui Lee. Kayla Guing Ang Lee. Lena Martin Leonhard, summa cum laude. Darren Michael Lewis. Libby Alexandria Lemur, magna cum laude. LaRude. Asher Bryce Lubier. Jide Seth Manson, magna cum laude. Catherine Lynn Marsh, summa cum laude. Sia, summa cum laude. Mbai, her diploma is being presented by her father, Habib Mbai, who is a faculty member. Mikhail Meredith, magna cum laude. Elise Louise Matoire. Marguerite Ann Michelle, magna cum laude. Camille Irene Mintz, summa cum laude.